So we've had a little bit of some internet and some technological difficulties this afternoon, but we're getting back on track. So welcome to our breakout session. So this is just a heads up that you are in breakout session room 1. We are going to have Dr. Isaac Jones here. If that sounds like where you want to be, then you can stay put. If you're looking for the session with Kelsey Riedel, that's room 2. And the session with Rachel Cavan on Google Reviews is room 3. So you can head to the agenda and choose the breakout session that you'd like to be in. So again, we are going to be joined by Dr. Isaac Jones in this room. If that sounds like not the session you want to be in, if you're looking for Kelsey's session or a session with Rachel Cavan, you're going to choose either room 2 or room 3. And we'll just give it a moment for Dr. Isaac Jones to join. So stay put. And if you are looking to find a different room, you're going to head to that agenda button, top of your tab, and you're going to select the breakout session that you are looking for. So either you're looking for Google Reviews with Rachel Cavan or some marketing tips with Kelsey. And don't worry, if Shireen just said, goodness, they all sound great, I want to join all of them. Don't worry, if you miss any sessions or if you have to pick between these breakout sessions, we will send you the recording for every single session. So you won't really be missing anything. You're just going to be joining live. So stay put and Dr. Isaac Jones will join us real soon. delay. We were just getting set up with Dr. Isaac, so who will join us shortly. So don't leave, stay with us. We are going to get started. We are so excited to welcome Dr. Isaac Jones, founder and CEO of Health Experts Alliance, for an inspiring session on Freedom First, Recession-Proof Practitioner, how to increase practice revenue and personal freedom by adding virtual services and AI. In this session, you will discover how to create your dream practice using AI tools and how to rise above your competition to become the go-to practitioner in your space. You'll also learn our Dr. Isaac's proven method to scale and grow while reducing burnout and creating more freedom in your personal life. It's so nice to have you, Dr. Isaac. I'll hand it over to you to take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. And I'm looking forward to adding a ton of value to you guys and getting into all these exciting topics that honestly are just completely disrupting the industry and helping practitioners all across the country and around the world really impact more lives and create a more meaningful life for themselves, like an ability to use technology and systems automation to actually buy back their time and create more freedom for themselves. So I'm excited to jump right in. I've got a presentation that I'm going to share with you guys here. I just need to, this is a new technology.
Yeah, Goldcast is it's definitely a different technology. So if you go over to your left-hand side where you see the screen button, you should be able to click that and choose a window or your entire screen to kind of get that deck on. So we'll give that a shot.
Okay, great. So I will just pick the entire screen and let's see if this works. Share. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
No, we can just see, we can't see the screen. We can see another window open. So if you exit out or stop screen sharing.
what I want to show.
Don't worry, it's not, I think it was just your Finder tab. Nothing on there.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, share. All right, can you see that?
That's perfect. And we can just hit present and then
rock
perfect.
On. Okay.
Awesome.
We are in, okay. Can you see all the tabs at the top? Because it's for some reason not presented.
Looks good to me.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, just your screen, yeah.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, I look forward to adding a ton of value to you, and feel free to ask any questions that you guys have. I will just jump back to this. I can see, where's the speaker? Good question. So I can see the chat here as well. So great. I'm looking forward to jumping in. So yeah, we do events all over the country. 2 times a year, we do 2 big events called Disrupt. It's all about people learning from other really successful doctors and practitioners in the space on how they've grown and scaled their businesses. So we've got one coming up next week. And if you guys are interested, love for you to learn more. If you go to disrupthealthcare.co, that's disrupthealthcare.co, you can, jump into either a virtual viewing, or if you're ambitious enough to get there in such a short period of time, love to see you there live. But, what we know is that the future of healthcare is here. And whether you're brick and mortar or you're moving into more of a telemedicine or virtual space, we've got to integrate virtual. So this is just some statistics around what happened over the last few years with virtual healthcare. It's just taken off. 83% of patients want virtual healthcare, yet only 17% have access to it. So there's still a massive demand. There's a big satisfaction rate according to Harvard Review, and it's just an extremely exploding industry as far as the revenue that people can build in the virtual businesses. And in post-pandemic, you've got a 38 times higher than pre-pandemic times in respect to virtual and telehealth visits. So it's completely exploded. And I'm not talking about just building just a standalone virtual telehealth business, which you can do. But I'm talking about building a business that is, that's integrated. If you want, I would say half of the people that we coach and train, they have a business that's completely free from the four walls of the brick and mortar. And then the other half is people within the brick and mortar that are wanting to thrive. But this is my vision, is I want to cultivate a new healthcare economy with you, which is why I align with Practice Better. Their technology, their services, I think are absolutely incredible, because they're helping us to pioneer the new healthcare economy. And things shifted after COVID. I think there's like a really great awakening for people that recognize that disease care is not the healthcare of the future. And so what I see us being able to do as a community, as a tribe, is to essentially put disease care in its place as an emergency care system and allow this new health economy to completely thrive. What you're looking at is a longevity industry that is chalked to be a $44 trillion industry by 2030, according to Deep Research Institute in Silicon Valley. I mean, you're looking at functional medicine that's completely taking off. You're looking at people that are looking at preventative healthcare, and so and wanting it and looking for it, both brick and mortar as well as virtual. So we have to position ourselves for this success that the transition away from disease care into true healthcare is creating for us. And so you may be thinking, I want to join the virtual practice revolution, but how do I get started? That's what this is all about. It's about how to integrate these AI, self-monitoring and regulating systems so that you're not so much working in the business, but more working on the business, so that you're not just a slave to the business, but you're more of a business owner versus just a business operator. So this is the day and age in which we're living, and we're allowing ourselves to be able to access this. So the reason why I got even started in this is because I built what I thought was my dream practice in 2008. It was a massive practice, multi-million-dollar practice. And I had doctors flying in from across the country to see what I was doing. I was speaking on all the big doctor stages to teach them how to do what I was doing. And I was so tired and exhausted after pushing so hard. I was working 10 to 15-hour days, depending on the day, that I fell asleep at the wheel. And I was actually on a highway, right? So this video doesn't do it justice, but I was on a highway and I fell asleep, and I drove off the road and I almost hit this cement medium that was kind of splitting the highway into. And that was the moment that I was like, holy cow, I've got to create something completely new. And so with all the quote unquote success, what I started to ask myself was, is this how I want to live my life? Like everyone, that is in this particular, integrative functional medicine industry that sees me on stage and sees I'm doing all these great things, like inside, I'm actually really like not healthy. I'm burned out. I'm like on a hamster wheel. I'm having to market. I'm having to sell. I'm having to, perform care. I'm having to, run the team. I just got exhausted. I don't know if you guys can relate, but that's when I launched my first virtual practice. It's an actual brick and mortar virtual practice hybrid. But eventually, after just 1 year, it allowed for me to sell my brick and mortar and allowed for me to just work 2 days per week while traveling 4 to 5 months a year in virtual. I was coaching and training doctors on building successful virtual practices for 8 years. And then I ran and launched a mastermind of people that wanted to get to 6, 7, and 8 figures to help them grow their practices. And so, the success that I had has really helped, create and pioneer an entirely new industry. And that's what I've been able to do. And I've been able to, work with and connect with some of the top leaders in the industry to help them build their businesses. We've seen over $1.3 billion in exits because of people building either supplement companies or technology companies, or even brick and mortar franchises and virtual practice licensed programs and things of that nature. But this industry is ripe for massive change. So that's why I founded Health Experts Alliance, and we're really on mission to help doctors and practitioners just like you gain freedom from their practice with our 11-step virtual practice roadmap. Now, I'll show you 5 steps that really encompass the 11 steps in a second, but this is really about breaking it down into the simple elements, this presentation. So I will actually break it down even further to simplify it even more into 3 steps in just a moment. But really what we do is we help increase practice revenue and profitability, because it's not just about revenue. You can increase revenue, and then people just like me, I had really good revenue, but I was on the hamster wheel, right? And so what we want to do is we want to programatize, we want to virtualize, we want to increase conversion rates so that you're generating more money with less people, and you're integrating what now is becoming more common, which is concierge healthcare, and you're charging what you're worth. You're learning how to actually charge what you're worth to the people that are willing to invest into the systems that you build. And all of this will increase your lifetime value of your practitioner. So as a practitioner, so this is me right here. These are the practitioners that we've had come out in our to one of our masterminds just to talk about how we can grow and scale, these businesses. And I mean, some of these people are building just incredible empires. And that's what I want to see. Is I want to see people dreaming big, building really incredible empires. With Practice Better, you guys have an incredible platform to be able to do that. A lot of these people are using Practice Better as their foundational platform and just building just incredible businesses together. So this is the 5 steps, right? We broke down the 11 steps into 5 steps. And so the 5 steps is really about audience attraction. How do we attract the right people to work with us that are not tire kickers? Right? We have these business coaching companies out there that are coaching people into the 6 and 7 figures, and they're just like what happened to me. They get burned out, and they're like, Isaac, I don't have freedom, but I'm finally making the money I want to make, but I feel like I'm about to die, And so we then look at what their model is, and we're like, oh my gosh, you're working with so many people that are not qualified to work with you. What if you could just start working with people that you're qualified to work with, and then your conversion rates go through the roof, and then you're not having to work so hard? And so we've made some tweaks. It helps to typically double, triple revenue and just create a lot of momentum there. Authority automation is all about making you the authority and your systems the authority. Because if you want to scale and get to asset ascension, which is scaling your practice beyond just yourself, you ultimately want to get to authority automation using an actual proprietary process. So it no longer is about just you, although it has to be about you when you start off. It's about a process, a signature process that people are like, that's the process that I want to go through for pregnancy, or that's the process that I want to go through for thyroid disease, or that's the process that I want to go through for weight loss, right? So that's what we're talking about, is really creating increased context in the mind of the buyer and the customer and the patient that would be like, oh my gosh, I want this, so that you create more demand. Aligned selling is all about, like, I learned early on what I call sleazy selling, which is like high pressured sales. And it really felt like out of integrity in my heart when I talked to patients, following the script that they recommended. And so I created a completely different script, and it gets way better conversions. It's based off of high ticket sales experts that, their programs that I invested into cost over 50 grand. But I mean, it works. It just works. And so it's a Socratic method of selling where you ask more questions and get people into more of a logical and more of an emotional state around their health, that they essentially sell themselves into working with you, which is, I think the way that we should sell. And so you align your proprietary process with, their goals and aspirations. And then it just makes the conversion rates easy, right? It's not like we're having to convince people to work with us. It's kind of like they're just nodding their head the whole time. And they're like, this totally makes sense. And then conversion rates go upwards of 70 to 90+%. So then you want to go away from this, this model of like where you're prostituting yourself for your hourly rate, right? And your hourly rate being very, very little. And into taking your gifts, talents, and abilities and your genius and putting them into a process that people can go through either monthly or over a course of several months. Like I typically recommend 6 months, but you create then automated programs. And this is where you can get a lot more people, help a lot more people, and not have to repeat yourself over and over and over again. And all this is done digitally online. And then you can start creating really healthy residual income because there are probably 10, 20, 30 different product recommendations that you use in your house, right? Like I'm sitting on this higher dose PEMF, infrared mat. I've got this ResiMax, pain device in my hand right here. Including this Flow Prezzo vibrating lymphatic drainage device. But like there's a ton of different things. Like, I don't know if you guys can even see me right now, but I'm holding up this little infrared light that's a portable infrared light. But like there are all these things that you can embed into your program that then generates crazy residual income. Now, if you want to really grow to the levels that the people that we've coached and trained have grown to, where they've been struggling in the low 6 figures or even in the 5 figures, and then they finally get it. They figure out audience attraction, authority automation, aligned selling, and automated programs. And then they get to asset ascension, which allows for them to really scale and grow to a high degree of success. And so that is only possible if you master the first 4 steps. Then you can get to scale, asset ascension, where you can take your assets and scale them to more and more people. And this is where people are like, well, how did they do this? And they're only working 20 hours a week. Well, they did the work to build these 4 steps first, and then they scaled. And they could scale because it wasn't about them. They didn't pigeonhole themselves in their practice, right? It was about the process that they could build and scale people around that, hire different coaches or bring in another doctor or whatever it might be, and then they can scale. I know this sounds crazy, but one of the people that I've coached over the years is about to hit $100 million in revenue as a practitioner online with coaches underneath him that are actually executing on his quote unquote proprietary process. So how do I build a freedom-oriented practice? There's really 3 steps to launching a 7-figure virtual practice. Whether you're in brick and mortar, you want a hybrid modern day practice where you're integrating virtual practice into your brick and mortar, or you're looking to integrate this in a way where this is kind of like a side business for you and a retirement business because you want to sell your brick and mortar and you want to do this full time. Here are the steps. So step 1, adopt the aligned health model. It's 3 steps to launching a 7-figure virtual practice. So what is the aligned health model, right? It's what you guys, I believe, really embrace. It's moving away from this traditional approach to healthcare, right? This disease model where we're just treating, different symptoms and diseases with drugs and surgery, right? But what we're doing is we're bringing people into the aligned model where we're taking people from the yellow, the orange into the blue, and ultimately into the light blue, which is peak performance, optimal health, right? Where you're not just bringing people just to homeostasis, but you're accessing human potential, right? You're accessing people to get to elevated levels of longevity and human performance. And so that's what we're about. And where a lot of people in the functional health space, they miss out on not only revenue, but transformation for the health participant, which is my word for patient, right? It's in, you help people get out of the yellow and the orange, and now they're feeling normal, but then you don't get them into a continuity program that will help them, get to that optimal level and stay there for life, right? Like I could not believe when I started doing the calculations, how many people would have joined my continuity program. That's a year-long program after they went through, this process. And man, like they could have just had such a different experience, and my business probably would have been a lot more in respect to revenue. So there's the traditional model, which is all about treating symptoms. The aligned is all about cause, prevention, performance, right? Traditional is drugs and surgery. The aligned is lifestyle change, cellular healing, detoxification. We've got way more tools in our toolbox than traditional. And then you've got the one size fits all versus the customized and personalized. So you get this, right? Like this is where we live. This is where the future of healthcare is. This is where the $4.3 trillion last year was spent in America in healthcare. But this is where the industry is headed in the future, right? So the thing I really want you to get is at the very bottom, you see extremely expensive and financially draining, affordable and saving money through long-term health. So if you think about it, think about this. If you really want to get good at converting people, show people how expensive the traditional model is. In all my presentations, I show people how expensive cancer is. 1 in 2 people get cancer. How expensive heart disease is. 1 in 2 people die from heart disease. How expensive Alzheimer's is. 1 in 3 people have Alzheimer's by the age of 80, right? So I'm showing people like, look, we need to start addressing this stuff now. And look how much money you can save by working with me. And people get it. They'll invest the $25K or $50,000 to work with me in my concierge high ticket program. Now, I'm not saying you guys need to charge what I'm charging, but if your program is even $5,000 or $2,000, if you're not ready to charge something that's a little bit more, if you feel uncomfortable with that, when you contrast whatever number you're charging people with how extremely expensive the medical system is in America, which is, by the way, the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America right now, then, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're also minimizing your conversion rates. So these are examples of health programs, right? You've got gut health, autism, Lyme, sleep disorders, autoimmune, yada, yada. So the list goes on. I think longevity is going to be the future. There's a lot of people that are going to be interested in longevity, which is why I built out a longevity practitioner certification to really help people understand this opportunity in longevity. But this is where it's at. We're all here at the beginning. We're at the starting line. We all have to take action on building our brighter future. And then we got to configure. We got to configure the ideas that we have. We need to test the education that we're giving, whether it's a webinar or video sales letter or mini webinar or whatever it might be. Then you start accelerating. And everyone wants to get to this 3/4 mark where you get 80% of the results for only 20% of the effort, right? But you've got to go through this process. If you take action on building your dream business, you configure, and it took me around 5 years to configure until I was happy with my business, right? Which is why I want it to take you guys a lot less, like 6 months or less to really get to acceleration. And then the goal is, where I reached magnification, I think after like 6 years, where I was getting 80% of the results for 20% of the effort. My goal is for you guys to get that after 3 years or even less, right? And that's where the gold is in the 10X model of growth. So this is an example. You got a 6-month health program. This is an aligned health program. This is your signature health program. Let's say you're in helping people with dementia. Like it could be the dementia disruption, or the brain optimization program for families with dementia or something like that. So that's the 6-month program. Then after they go through the 6-month program, you've got a monthly extension. So this is where you drive a lot more revenue, in your business and transformation for the individuals that have just graduated your 6-month program. Again, programmatizing your offering is going to give them better results because they're more committed for the long run. Typically, they're investing more money, which brings them to the program more. I know that doesn't sound like logical, right? but it actually, the more people pay, the more they pay attention. So the more you can get them to invest up front, the more serious they take you and the better results that they get. And my only way of proving this to you is to just remember all the people that you've quote unquote scholarshiped or given the program away for free because you felt bad for them. And I've done this so many times in my life. And then they don't show, they don't take you serious, and they're typically the biggest pain patients that you have, right? So, ultimately you want that. And then you've got continuity packages that you could do annually. A could be a silver package, B could be a gold package, C could be a platinum package, but it just keeps people in your system. So number 2 is implementing a new revenue source that's more lucrative than fee for service. So this is, really the 3 steps to launching a 7-figure virtual practice. And this is what I was talking about before. The old way is more fee for service. If you really want to move into the practice of the future, you want to be looking at programmatizing, right? So it's a completely different model. So challenges with scaling your traditional fee for service is revenue is tied to your time. There's no freedom for your practice. Your lifetime value for clients is much lower and they're less committed. And you have to continue to market to existing patient base to get them back into your office, right? So benefits of introducing virtual programs to your practice. And I was talking to a woman today who does spinal decompression and neuropathy. And I was saying like some of our neuropathy doctors, their virtual neuropathy clinics are huge right now. I mean, multi 7 figures. And so I gave her an understanding of how to do that. And I said, even like she wants multiple spinal decompression clinics all across the country. And I said, well, what if you geo-targeted in a local area, spinal decompression and neuropathy, but people could still come in, but you can market in a geo-targeted area for like a 2-hour drive, and they could come in, get treatment, and then do virtual care for part of their program, right? So there's different ways of being able to do that. But she was like, oh my goodness, like this would dramatically increase my revenue. And I said, totally. So, 6-month minimum commitment, which actually creates real health commitment and change, larger LTV and cash flow from day one. You also do concierge and group coaching. So there's options there. So that frees up your time. And again, when you're doing concierge, you have people going through more of a digital program, or even if you don't have a digital program, what we give our doctors is, things that they can just mail to people, after consults, so that there's just a follow-up email with things for them to do. And I mean, that's enough for a lot of people. You don't want to overwhelm them, but just that alone is going to free up a ton of your time. And then you'll ultimately need to see people less. Revenue is no longer linked to your time, which is huge, right? So my goal for you guys is to start charging what you're worth and then free up your time. So Olivia, she did this, right before COVID, she started working with us. Her business just completely exploded. She was breaking 100K per week. And now she's built a residual income generating asset of 80K per month in just e-commerce revenue, right? So this is just one example of what you can do. And, she was positioned right before the shutdown, and now she's doing even better than what she's, communicated here. But what's really powerful is that even if you are brick and mortar, you want to hedge to do digital at some level because of what they're doing in the world with these, shutdowns, right? So, this is an outline of a 6-month program exercise that we have for you. So this is a workshop. You guys can do this with ChatGTP. I'm going to go through this just to show you what to do, but I want you to take notes about this. So what you're going to do is you're going to ChatGTP, and you're going to tell ChatGTP what your protocols are. So we're going to actually send in the chat the things for you to copy paste. You can put it in ChatGTP now and try to customize it as we go, or just put it in notes on your computer, or put it into a Word document or a Google Doc, and then you can do this exercise when you've got a little bit more time. So I'm going to tell you a few things. This is what you're telling ChatGTP. I'm going to tell you a few things about the protocols I typically recommend for my health participants. Then you paste the responses below. So what is your niche? So explain what your niche is, right? So if you already have your customer persona or client avatar written out, then great, just copy it and paste it into ChatGTP. What is the supplements that you recommend? So typically I'm working with these people. These are the 10 supplements that I recommend. So what types of meals do you recommend? Oh, it's the autoimmune paleo. Okay, great. Autoimmune paleo. I get them started on a basic, diet that just gets them to remove sugar and gluten. Okay, great. Put that in there. So you're telling ChatGPT what you do in this program. So what are the 6 habits? What 6 habit changes do you recommend that your health participants do? And so then you write out what those particular habit changes are. I want them to get out for a walk after dinner. I want them to wake up and go outside in the morning because I know that morning sunlight will help them regulate their circadian rhythms and it's really healthy for their adrenals. I want them to cut out sugar. I want them to stretch before bed and do breath exercises. I want them to start going to the gym 3 times a week. Whatever those look like, you put them in. And so your top recommendations that you give to health participants. So this is an example. I'm a longevity practitioner. I'm going to tell you a few things about a protocol that I recommend for my health participants. My niche is longevity for entrepreneurs. Obviously, I would have a lot more details into this, but I'm just showing you a condensed version of this on this call. And then you've got the supplements. I recommend resveratrol, coenzyme Q10, NAC, NAC. I recommend NAD plus, whatever you think. I recommend my patients go on a paleo or paleo adjacent diet. I recommend that they don't eat 2 hours before going to bed, get consistent sleep, yada, yada. So this is what you then do. So you've got all that context in ChatGPT. Then you say, I would like you to outline a 6-month health program. This program includes coaching calls once per month with the practitioner, supplement recommendations, meal recommendations, structured habit change education with a focus on a specific topic each month. So remember, ChatGPT wants feedback. So give ChatGPT feedback. Also, and if you're using Grok, which is X, right? Elon Musk's chat, that's just as good. So let's say you're using Grok, give it context, give it as much feedback as possible. If you don't like specific words, say change this to that. And all of a sudden you're going to start refining it and it's going to get better. So this is just an example. This is literally what ChatGPT popped out just with that easy prompt above. And now you can kind of see how you can build out a digital program, a 6-month consulting concierge program, or whatever it is that you're wanting to build, a group coaching program. So month 1, establishing the foundation. Here's what we recommend, for that here, the structure habit changes. Month 2, fine-tune nutrition. Month 3, expanding dietary choices. Month 4, targeted supplementation. Month 5 is monitoring progress. Month 6 is sustainability and future planning to create long-term sustainable results. So this is very powerful. However, what I want you to see is that you can edit all this. You can upgrade it. You can then run it through ChatGPT even more. And all of a sudden you've got an even better prompt, right? So I want you to see that this is a powerful way to grow what your future business could look like. All right, so that is the 6-month program. And now we want to, really get into implementing downsell options. So this is really the 3 steps to launching a 7-figure virtual practice. Step 3, right? We talked about the various other strategies, programmatizing, right? And then really optimizing these business systems. But why do we want to implement a downsell? So if I want you guys to go from converting at 30 to 50% to 70 to 90%, then you should have a downsell. It captures more patients. Not every client is prepared for long-term high investment programs. A downsell helps you retain these clients by offering them a viable, smaller scale option, right? I'm blessed to be able to have made millions and millions of dollars in this health space. And we're just continuing to see mass abundance in this space for all the people I'm around and in my businesses. However, I grew up very poor. My dad was a janitor. My mom didn't work. We had 7 kids in the family. The only way that I had my health transformation, I got out of special needs. I got off my ADHD medications. I was able to reverse dyslexia to a large degree, was because the doctor that my mom went to, we couldn't afford. As a family, we could not afford, right? This is why I think it's important to have downsells is because there's other little Isaacs out there, just like I was when I was 14 years old, actually, when I actually started learning about this new model and transforming my health, that allowed for me to get out of special needs, to take tests and really transform my life because they had a downsell option. It also creates incremental trust. So let's say you have a 6-month program. Well, if they can't do the 6-month program, we'll offer them a 3-month program. And then all of a sudden you're seeing people, convert at a higher level. So revenue consistency, downsells ensure you maintain a steady flow of revenue by meeting patients where they are, offering flexibility without compromising on value. So another way is to help people still get access to your training, still get access to your program, but maybe it's not working with you. Maybe it's freeing up your time where it's them going through it themselves, or they're connecting with you less frequently. So the last benefit, like I said, is you increase, your conversion rates. So how do you actually structure your downsell options? You want to package the visits, offer a structured set of visits or calls, typically over a 3-month period of time, that focus on resolving a specific health issue. So this package should address a particular issue right from the get-go. So what I recommend is right from the beginning, don't just create a 6-month program and then create another downsell option. What you do is you create a 6-month program, but you design your first 3 months to be the downsell for your 6-month program. So the question you would then ask is, what are the intelligent things that I would put in the first 3 months to get them so blown away with the results that they would want to sign up for the next 3 months, which I've had so many health participants do in the time that I've worked with thousands of clients over the last 10 plus years. I started in 2009, my virtual practice, doing these different programs. So, it's almost, 15 years now? Holy cow. So communicate the approach. Oh, and by the way, we're doing this right now digitally into group coach programs. So I'm talking about one-on-one programs, which I did most of the time, but I'm also launching currently right now a group coaching program, which, if I do the math, I just found out how many we've done. It's a $15,000 program. And we have 130 people that have just joined. So that's 1.9 million this month in group coaching programs. So there's different ways to do that, right? So build it with ease. When designing your 6-month program, think, how could I create the first 3 months to get results as my downsell? So you only create one program. Exactly. So you've got aligned healthcare model. So the 3 steps: get into the aligned healthcare model, right? Number 2 is really build out that new revenue source, and create that programmatization for your business. And if you already have programs, that's great. Look at optimizing those programs. Look at selling them better. Look at converting them better. Look at getting the right people to actually buy them versus getting all these tire kickers in that are not really committed to their health, right? Number 3 is implement a downsell option. And by the way, just on that, I have a friend that launched this company called andhealth.com. And what they're doing is they're working with insurance companies to then get, Oura rings and advanced supplementation and things of that nature out to the masses, to people that are literally, the lowest rung on the insurance care providers list. And the problem with what they've seen is that people don't implement stuff, even if insurance is paying for it, right? Again, you want to get people brought to the program. Like I thought like, oh gosh, And Health is going to help a lot of people. Hopefully it still does. They're figuring it out. But, like it's very interesting. The fact that all these people, like they're not as committed as you think they are, which is why the marketing and the sales process in a practice is one of the most powerful things you can do for health transformation before the program, because it creates the context for excellence. In the process of bringing them to the program and getting them results. I believe that you get results with them on a psychological level before you get results with them on a physiological level. So, our virtual roadmap has been proven. We've helped over 2,768 practices. And this is just a few people that we've helped. Dr. Reagan, he implemented this roadmap. He then went 90% in person. So he said he was 90% in person. Then I went to 75% virtual, and we're able to expand our impact while growing our revenue to 8 figures. So really, really cool. Went virtual. He still does in person, and he does also retreats like I did. I was so virtual that I then started to do retreats with my health participants at different resorts around the world. But, that's just the one really, really powerful, strategy. So he wrote the book Peptide Protocol, if you guys want to check that out. But he's somebody that integrated this stuff pretty powerfully. Jabin was in my situation before we started working together. He was burned out, right? And this is like one of the biggest things. I'm like, I could have continued making a ton of money doing what I was doing before, but I was like, I don't care about the money if I'm about to die, So why don't I build a business that's more like freedom creating and allows for me to really impact people's lives, scale, help more people, which I ended up doing. I did a master class with 130,000 people. I had a blog and a podcast that was downloaded, was a Inc. Top 10 podcast, #1 for a little bit on iTunes. And I mean, it had tens of thousands of downloads every single week. And so it's amazing what you can end up doing. But he went from 10 hours a week to 20 hours of work a week while increasing his revenue. He went from 1 million when he first started working with us, working 80 hours a week, to 5+ million working 20 hours a week, which is pretty amazing. So here's the decision for you guys, right? You can decide to continue doing what you're doing, right? Or you can implement a proven system that we know works, right? That has been proven time and time again to help, create massive impact in people's lives. And I would love you guys to ask any questions about any part of the steps that we just talked about, either the 3 steps that we kind of condensed for this purpose of this training, or one of these 5 steps: audience attraction, authority automation, aligned selling method, automated programs and residual income, asset ascension, right? We know this stuff works. And, ideally you get into a place of abundance thinking where you are in a place of thinking possibility around what you can create in the future, versus where a lot of people get stuck is this fear-based, like scarcity mindset that gets you into a fixed mindset where you don't end up ever doing anything with with where you're at. And so, I think Dr. Phil said, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. We have to think differently and take different action to create completely different upgrades in our business, right? One of the things that somebody said to me was, I walked into this mastermind and there was this guy that was making hundreds of millions of dollars. And he was like, oh, like what's different about my business, versus his business? He was like, he's just in a different question. His question is, different than my question. And because of the question that he's in, his business has been built around that question. So long story short is I built a new question in my business. And I asked myself, how can I build 5-star luxury longevity resorts around the world, working with the top people in the world? And now my senior board advisor was the founder of the Ritz-Carlton. His name is Horst Schulze. He built the #1 hotel in the world twice, the Ritz-Carlton and Capella hotels. And now I'm actually building kind of mega clinics, if you would, where I'm entering into the hospitality space and building these longevity resorts and hotels. So, hopefully that inspires you guys. But there's information seekers and decision seekers, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with both, but ideally, the people that get faster results are decision seekers. They're looking to make decisions. So, the number one shared quality of rapid risers are the people that grow the fastest in business, are those that achieve a success faster in our program, are the ones that make decisions decisively around their brighter future. They dream up a great vision, they take action on what it could look like, and then they move forward, right? So this is our invitation that we want to give to you. I know I've got just a few minutes left, but I've saved a little bit of time for you to ask questions. So I'll jump back into the room here in a second and answer any questions that you have. But my invitation to you is to set up a growth call with our team so that we can support and serve you guys to get to that next level. This is going to be a great call. We're going to help connect you with a business growth expert that knows what levers to pull to create success. So once they understand where you're at in your business, they'll be like, okay, this is a blind spot, or this is a challenge. Here's a lever. Here's what I doubled down on, to grow. Together, you'll essentially develop a well-tailored plan that's specifically for you to help you get your business to the next level. And we'll answer any questions that you have as well. So on top of that, what we're going to do is give you what a $1 million plus virtual practice looks like. So there's a workshop that's happening tomorrow night and tonight and tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing these workshops live. If you want to go deep with me, and it's a $97 workshop, but you can get it today if you're interested for free. It's going to be 2 hours tonight, and then 2 hours tomorrow night. It's the same workshop both nights, so you can either pick tonight or tomorrow night. Just scan that right there. Right now, what you're going to do is you're going to be able to set up a call with our team, with our practice growth expert, and you can set up a workshop for tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to go deeper into ChatGPT. We're going to go deeper into AI. We're going to build out various elements of your business tonight that is going to be even more methodical. We're going to do it together. I'm going to spend some time with you guys going through it, and you guys will see just how unbelievably transformative the day and age in which we are living, with AI helping us grow and scale and build these just crazy businesses now. So this is, again, the QR code. I'm going to leave it here for just 1 second. Go ahead and scan it. And I believe my team was also putting in the link in the chat to be able to get access to this. But again, we don't do these workshops. This is, ironically just aligned with the timing of this particular training. So if you're interested tonight or tomorrow night to jump into that, and go ahead and scan that QR code. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome.
Isaac, brother, just
okay. I think there's a little bit of a delay here. I don't know if I can share screen, but this guy was going bankrupt. Essentially, he was just a couple months away. This is what he explains in the video, from essentially, throwing everything, throwing everything out the window. And what happened was he started to generate more and more money until he was generating 6 figures. He's now around the $5 to $6 million range. And he was just saying in this video, this was kind of the beginning of him starting to create some wins for himself, where he just rang up over $100,000 in prepaid sales in one day and was just raving about it and was like, bro, this is pretty amazing. So I just don't want you to have to listen to an echo. But, my vision for you guys today is really for you to step into your greatness, right? I want you to step into your greatest possibility to create the biggest impact in healthcare industry and really cultivate your dream life. And so I just want to thank you guys for being with me today. I know that we were able to get through a lot. I had quite a bit to get through. I've got just a couple minutes left here if you guys have any questions, and then we can conclude. Did any questions come in, Navita?
Yeah, that was such an inspiring session. I will also say Dr. David Moore, he's one of our bonus session speakers, and he mentions your program. And it's so inspiring. In my chat with him, he did say that exactly what you said. He's one of actually Practice Better's top customers, and in terms of payments process. And we're in a world where there's a lot of people selling dreams. So it's really cool to hear from you, where you're obviously making a real difference with the clients you work with. And Dr. David Moore, one of Practice Better's top members and top practitioners, is clearly that success story. So the first question I have for you, everyone's asking, how do they sign up for your certification program, and how do they become a client of yours? Is the best place to go to that workshop or a different website?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to come to the event, it's disrupthealthcare.co. And then if my team just puts a link in the chat, it'll get you access to, okay, right, Abby. So yeah, unfortunately we're in high demand right now. So there is quite a bit of people that are wanting to be a part of what we're doing. But if you go, if you just book, what I'll do is I can start working on freeing up my team's calendars even more, so that we can reschedule you guys so that you can connect with us earlier. But yeah, if you come to the workshop tonight, I think that would be really good for you guys to learn more. But I would love to be able to. So the calendar link is not working, guys. I don't know. There's two of my team members that are on there. I apologize for this, guys.
We'll get that link to everyone. And even if we don't get it in this session, we will have it so we're going to have a swag bag at the end of this, where there'll be all of Dr. Isaac's links put in for workshops, booking that growth call. So it will all be there. We'll make sure we get that to you tonight. And we've got the Disrupt Healthcare link in there as well.
Okay. And then Rakasha said there's no workshop link. So if you could post the workshop link, team, that would be great. I apologize, guys, for the technological. So even people that are crushing technology sometimes can have issues. Will there be
all of us? Yes, and there will be a replay. All of this will be sent to the replay for the workshop. Yes, will everyone?
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a replay, team? If you could just post in here. I believe the goal would be to be there live, because then you can actually do the work with us. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's, I believe we just do it live and there's no replay, but maybe my team knows different, and then they can post in the chat whether it is or isn't. Yes, exactly. Amen. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jones. It looks like we're just out of time, and folks are heading to the next room. But we thank you so much again. We really appreciate your time with us today. And we'll post all of those correct workshop, book your growth calls, all of those links with this recording.
Thank you so much, Avita. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. You can just click leave stage button.
Okay. Thank you. You're amazing, by the way. Wow. You showed up powerfully. Really, you're great. MC. All right. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. See you.